All right, folks, we apologize for that mini 15-minute small delay there again, trying to work out some of our technical problems today. With that, though, folks, good evening, WNBA and women's basketball fans, and welcome into the WNBA 365 Network, your 24/7 365 comprehensive home for everything revolving around the WNBA and the rest of the women's basketball universe. Back with you folks right after a off night last night, back here now this evening on WNBA 365 semi-final Olympic Central. Joining you folks, getting another two-man game tonight here, of course. By the way, folks, we should mention too, by the way, the disclaimer too, that now that school is getting back into session for most of us, either working at a school or just school in general, we will be having some either late night shows or some nights we may not be on air because of school, of course, or maybe other things in general. With that, though, folks, joined that though in the hang-up by Tanisha Stewart, Shorty Mama 24 up in Los Angeles, and of course, Kamala her joining you folks here from Studio 171 in San Diego. Shorty, good to see you tonight. Thanks for coming in like the last minute, basically. But we got. I know that a lot of our other panel members do have something else going on. Of course, school, work, home, play, you name it. Something's going on. Other than that, though, how is it going tonight? Good to see you.
Hey. Yes, I came in here in the clutch, but I'm all ready to go.
And, of course, folks, like normal, of course, Facebook and Twitter and the live chat box are wide open for you folks. Hit us up over on Facebook at facebook.com/WNBA365 or hit us up on Twitter at WNBA365 at Calimac3 or at ShortyMamba24 with the hashtag WNBA365. Excuse me, folks. And, of course, if you're going to be viewing us, if you are viewing us live tonight, folks, hit up the live chat box. We'll get to your commentary when we have a break in the action. Now, again, sure, I know that Chris and I touched base on this on Monday. Of course, we were off yesterday, but again, news coming out over the weekend, of course, that Connecticut Sun COO, team president, vice president of a lot of things, but pretty much, man, sure, the man behind the franchise, basically, Chris Sanko, again, announcing he is going to be resigning from his role with the Sun effective September of this year. Again, Shorty, you know, pretty much what Chris did for this franchise in regards to, again, you know, buying the team from Orlando, and again, him and the Mohegan Sun tribe, of course, making this franchise profitable in 2003, one WNBA Finals appearance, one other appearance in the conference finals in 2012. But again, sure, we just kind of see how it's been, though, the past 2-3 years for the Sun post-2012. It's been rough for them. Shorty, overall thoughts, though, about Chris Sanko announcing his resignation, though, from the Sun franchise effective September of this year?
Well, I'm not sure how Sun fans will feel about him, but just looking on the outside, from the outside in, I think he did, a decent job while he was, over the Sun franchise. And of course, the minor knocks on him may be that he was sort of, busy trying to, I would say, lure in the UConn Husky fans by keeping a lot of and bringing in a lot of UConn players, former UConn players to the franchise, including, of course, drafting Tina Charles, which made sense because she was, the top franchise player coming in 2010. But I think that will be one of the knock on him is that, he tried to bring in, too many former Husky players and pretty much try to turn the team as the professional version of the UConn Huskies. And over the years, it doesn't have the same correlation. Pretty much UConn Husky fans didn't really flock to the Connecticut Sun the same way. They flocked to the UConn Husky team at the college level. And also there was the whole thing, which I'm not sure if you could blame this particularly on him, but of course the Tina Charles trade where she, forced her way to New York, but that was more on Charles than, Cinco. So I'm not sure if anyone could really blame him for that. And then I think the last recent trade on draft day that kind of put the nail in the coffin was, the Chelsea Gray, Jonquel Jones trade. And even though Jonquel, has had a very decent season, very stellar season so far, a lot of people question that trade as well and think that might have been the nail in the coffin, for his tenure over the Connecticut Sun. But, I think overall, think he did a decent job, and hopefully, the franchise will continue to grow without him.
Shorty, the other thing though I wanted to bring up though too is, what a lot of other of his colleagues or peers or media members have said though is it's not really about the way he's going out, but more so about the impact he's leaving on the women's basketball game. Of course, what he's meant though for Team USA and the selection committee, of course, with the Olympics or even for FIBA in recent years, again making that Connecticut franchise a profitable franchise in the plus figures and cash dollars and money when Mohegan bought that franchise from Orlando in 2003, the the league final appearance and then the conference final appearance. But I guess Shorty, what is Sanko's, I guess, final impact though on the entire landscape of the women's basketball game? I know that he's kind of been, on the front line battling for, for equality with the sport as much as the players do. But I guess Shorty, what is Chris Sanko's the final impact in your mind though on the full-on landscape of women's basketball in your mind?
I mean, overall, hopefully, he is leaving, a good mark, on the league as well, as you talked about, not only with the Connecticut Sun, but also, with his role in USA basketball. Even though this recent, whole ordeal with, the selection committee, I do not want to re-bring that up, but beyond that, his overall role with, USA basketball and the WNBA, he definitely had a big impact, on both sides.
Couple comments real quick, Shorty. One from our co-host, Chris Thomas, who just said, "Hey guys, good to see you," basically. And Shorty, the man in the box, Todd Mintz, does though about this subject though, and he wants to pose a question though. He said, "Not good news about this. Does this mean they could be ripe for a fold or a relocation to Sacramento or elsewhere in your mind with Sanko resigning from the Connecticut Sun?"
Okay, first of all, I just want to say hello, Miss Thomas. And as for Todd Mintz, I'm not sure. I think it's too early to categorize this as, tension or drama within the franchise because, of course, I'm not sure whether this team is continuously profitable or they losing money. So it's too early to tell. But if anything comes out later on, we'll definitely be hearing about it.
Shorty, Todd brings up a very valid point, though, about Sacramento. Now, I probably am going to assume here, because we have heard about the rumblings or the rumors about WNBA relocation or potential league expansion. Again, and we've seen how expansion has been in recent years in eras of the WNBA. Teams come in, leave after 2 years or 4 years, and then they relocate or fold because of money. Something tells me, though, that Connecticut may not be the first option for relocation, only because I think, though, that Mohegan, with them playing at the casino, probably has some type of cash flow into the organization. But Todd, though, is right, though, I think, Shorty, in regards to Sacramento. Keep in mind, again, folks, the Kings are getting a new arena in downtown Sacramento this NBA season called the Golden One Center, Shorty, which easily could bring back the franchises to NorCal because also, Shorty, my man, the main man of the hour up there, the former mayor of Sacramento, the man Kevin Johnson, former great Phoenix Suns point guard, of course, is kind of, though, behind, though, the fact is kind of, also kind of pushing that boulder downhill, though, of trying his best to bring the WNBA back to Sacramento after the Maloff brothers, of course, did away with the franchise in 2009. So, Shorty, does the new arena that Kevin Johnson basically bought and built in downtown Sacramento make Sacramento a hotbed for a relocation or new expansion franchise in the future for the WNBA in your mind, yes or no?
Yes, I definitely do think it's definitely a hot spot because I haven't heard of the recent, figures within the WNBA of whether teams are making a profit or not. But last I heard, there were only 16 making a profit and 6 teams in the red. So, as we speak, there are, currently 6 teams that are still losing money. New York is one of those franchises. And of course, we heard, the rumors written in a page 6, article about their owner. I can't think of his name right
James
now.
Dolan.
Yes, correct. James Dolan, still looking for a buyer, for the New York Liberty. I'm not sure if he's currently still doing that at the moment, but if the New York Liberty becomes one of those teams, I think possibly the relocation to Sacramento or even the Bay Area is opening up. There's still Joe LaCobe as well, another franchise owner who was looking to buy the Sparks. So um, again, there are still teams in the red, so the possibilities are there.
And Shorty, with you also bringing up, of course, the past of Golden State, Bay Area, of course, wanting to buy the Sparks in 2014. Keep in mind, too, guys, that the Warriors are also getting a new arena in downtown San Francisco in the next 2 to 4 years. The Chase Center is going to be opening on a pier in San Francisco. So, Shorty, I think now that as we kind of move away from this now, but again, a very good question though asked by Todd Mintz, our main man in the box again, about this. But again, Shorty, I think it's important though for us to remember here though that while there are new arenas being built in the Bay Area in Sacramento, you got to even it out though. You have to add more teams on the East Coast as well because again, as we've already seen, again we've talked about Sacramento in the Bay Area, 2 California cities again on the West Coast. Shorty, what East Coast hotbeds maybe would be a potential hotspot maybe for expansion or even relocation? Should we even get to this point maybe in a couple years?
Well, I think I brought up New York, in their rumored financial problems as well. So if they were in trouble or James Dolan were looking to sell them, I think the first place the WNBA would look to is, their neighbors in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center, so I think they'll try to give that a shot as well to at least keep the Liberty franchise, in the New York area. Also, I think a couple of years ago, the WNBA hosted a preseason exhibition, tournament in Orlando. So I think that will be another city that they will look to, if they want to, relocate any franchise in the East Coast.
Very good discussion. And Todd, thank you for a very good question to get us off and running here on the night's program again about some potential talk again, folks, of maybe some WNBA relocation, contraction, or expansion in the next maybe 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 years maybe. But again, good question though to start off our night here on the program. Okay, Shorty, more importantly, let's get down to the big news again. First and foremost, Shorty, news out of Team USA's camp after their victory over Japan, 110-64 on Tuesday. Of course, Sue Bird diagnosed day-to-day sprained right knee, nothing severe, nothing serious, nothing out of the ordinary, or nothing short to be very concerned about in regards to Sue's injury that was suffered on Tuesday. Shorty, overall thoughts about Bird's injury? Again, it's day-to-day right now with, again, 1-2 games to go for the gold medal game, Shorty. Shorty, is there a sense of, maybe ruffled feathers or maybe some slight, minuscule, microscopic, perhaps, panic maybe seeing Birdie going down on Tuesday in your mind?
Oh, yeah, there was a lot of panic, at least from what I saw on my Twitter timeline, because when initial reports came out, I think Doug Feinberg said that, quoted that she had heard a pop, when she was going down. So that pop didn't sound good, through the ears of many fans. So they were worried. It sounded like Bird was worried as well. But good thing that it's only, a minor knee injury listed as day to day. But the question now will be if she can't go in tomorrow's game or even in the gold medal game, who will be those players to step up? I think one name comes to mind would be DT to possibly, run some PG for the starters. And also you have Waylon as well. But it's just good that, overall it wasn't as serious as it was thought out to be.
Good news again, but again, folks, Sue Bird, again, day-to-day sprained right knee, nothing severe, nothing too serious to report, but again, heard a pop on Tuesday, but again, nothing severe in regards to any ligament or structural damage to her knee. 4 teams left now, folks, as we go down to the semifinal stage of the 2016 Rio Women's Basketball Olympic Game event. 4 sides left: Spain, Serbia, France, and Team USA. Those are your 2 matches, by the way, folks. Spain and Serbia at 1,100 hours in Rio, and at 1,500 hours, France and Team USA. Shorty, give us your thoughts first on Spain and Serbia. Of course, probably what we were not expecting, of course, was seeing Serbia getting in here, of course, upsetting Australia, who I believe was probably the second best or probably the number 2 team to get the gold medal behind Team USA. But, of course, Serbia stuns them in a very thrilling game on Tuesday, 73-71. Shorty, thoughts about Spain hooking up with Serbia? Winner goes on to the gold medal game. Loser will head to the bronze medal game on Saturday. What do you think?
Oh my goodness. I definitely think this is going to be a big matchup because these two teams, I mean, I don't want to say they're necessarily evenly matched, but it's just, of course, we're not so sure what to expect from this game because you have two teams and at least one team in Serbia who not many didn't expect to make it this far. I'm pretty sure many people thought that Serbia would be out by the preliminary round and wouldn't make it even to the quarterfinals, but they, defeat the odds. They had a big win against Australia, so it's definitely going to be an interesting game. But I will have to say that I am a little biased, when saying that I want Serbia to win this game only because of Anna Dokovic of the LA Sparks representing, for the team. So I would hope that they would take this game, but it could go either way because Spain, oh my goodness, Spain beat a very tough and driven Turkish team on the buzzer beater from Anna Cruz, so it's definitely going to be a big matchup, but I'm biasly hoping that Serbia takes this game.
Shorty, what we've seen so far in the Olympics, again, is it's a matter of anything can happen. Again, we've seen Team USA women's soccer go down to Sweden in the quarterfinal round. We've seen a lot of things happen so far through the 12 days of the Olympic Games again. And again, Serbia, probably picked by a lot of people not to be here, of course, but again, they stun Australia. And as you said, too, Spain stunning Turkey. So again, there's two teams up there, Shorty, that are wild cards that were not expected or picked or favored to be in this predicament. But again, Spain will take on Serbia. Again, that is a 11 o'clock or a 1100 hours game time start. And then, of course, Shorty, France and Team USA will duke it out once more again in the tournament, or will now duke it out, of course, the rematch between these two sides again at 1500 hours local time in Rio. So, Shorty, first of all, Topman says about Sue Bird, he says Sue obviously was in a lot of pain, and thank goodness she is not seriously hurt. The Storm do need her for the playoff run. And also says that Whalen is more than capable of doing well with extra minutes. She was playing much better before the break had hit for the WNBA. But again, Shorty, France and Team USA. Shorty, what are you expecting out of Team USA and France in this matchup? Again, winner goes to the gold medal game, loser goes to the bronze medal game on Saturday.
Yeah, for some reason, because it's been a trend for Team USA, so I'm kind of expecting another slow start out the gate for Team USA, but I think they'll once again ultimately pick it up, and they will win the game. And of course, I'm not trying to sell France short because you're right, this is the rematch, not necessarily when it comes to the semifinals, but France was the same team that the U.S., met up and won against in the gold medal game in the 2012 Olympics in London. So I'm not really surprised that France got this far because they have those pieces. I mean, it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup in the post when it comes to BG versus Gruda and Yakubo as well and Tina Charles. So I definitely look for the post matchup there. It's going to be a very good game.
Shorty, I'm with you in regards to, again, probably a slow start from Team USA to start off this game. Again, they sort of been a wee bit exposed early in games. Maybe the first 5 minutes of the game they've been a little bit dreary, a little bit coming out of the gates, and then you see them just throttle everybody second, third, fourth quarter all the way to the end. Again, I agree though that the post game is going to be very interesting to watch. But again, I still say Team USA takes this one by who knows how many. Todd says about the Spain Serbia matchup, he says, flip a coin here, guys. Would have to lean to Spain, I guess. Likely to be a fairly low-scoring affair in his mind. And sure, I think that probably, and I would probably agree though, because like I said, two teams here again in Spain and Serbia who are not heavily favored or picked to be in the spot again. you literally could probably do this and pick your winner again by flipping a coin. Shorty, do you agree with that statement or what?
Yes, I would agree because, like I said, we really don't know what to expect from both of these teams. Now, of course, we understand what both of these teams are capable of. What the Dalpovich sisters, and then on the Spain side, you have Shar guy, uh, also, Romero as well, and also Sylvia Dominguez, who probably what hasn't been a big scorer throughout, these Olympic Games, but she's very solid, and also Denor as well, playing pretty big for Spain. So it's kind of tough. We don't know what to expect from either side, but it's definitely going to be a pretty interesting matchup.
And also, real quick, folks, as well, Todd also wants to give a heartfelt congratulations to Japan on a very good and spirited effort yesterday against Team USA. Score was not indicative of the action. It was 56-50 early in the third quarter before a 17-1 run. Japan had hit a lot of threes, so we wanted to give them a little bit of a shout-out for a good effort put forth in the games for their effort as well. Shorty, kind of looking around the rest of the Olympics again, not a lot else to get to, but anyway, folks, we'll first of all recap the schedule for tomorrow. Again, that is Spain and Serbia at 1100 hours Rio time. France and Team USA at 1800 or at 1500 hours as well down there in Rio. There'll be an off day on Friday. Then the schedule for Saturday will go as follows. It'll be loser of game one and basically the losers of the first of those two games for the bronze medal at 7:30 local time and 11:30 local time. Winners of both games for all the marbles in the Rio 2016 Olympic gold medal will be decided again all on Saturday after an off day on Friday to get things started. But again, tomorrow's action again, Spain, Serbia, 1100 hours Rio time, France, Team USA, 1500 hours. Again, winners to the gold medal game and losers will play for third place and the bronze medal down there in Rio de Janeiro. So, Shorty, as we kind of get ready to kind of close the book on Rio 2016, Shorty, again, so much great stuff going on, of course, with Rio. Obviously, we know about all the factors Rio faced in regards to hosting the games with all the pollution problems, corruption problems, political nonsense, stadium problems, and everything else included. But, Shorty, I guess as you kind of think back over the entire spectrum of the game so far, again, we are kind of winding down to the end of the game, Shorty. I guess, Tanisha, what's been your overall thoughts, I guess, on how the games have gone up until right now, again, through 12 days of the games again? How do you think how do you think Rio has done so far, I guess, as a host country and host nation so far as we're getting deeper and deeper into Olympic competition here so far?
Well, I'll just specifically speak on the games and the competition overall. It's been very good. It's been very, great to see so many upsets and knockouts of different teams or individual stars that we were not expecting, and especially in basketball, we were not expecting the eliminations of Australia and Canada, but it happened. So overall, I'm loving the competition, but as Rio, as a host itself, I mean, you brought up so many problems, dirty water, dirty living conditions within the Olympic Village, players getting robbed and whatnot, rats and blood in certain places in the Olympic Village. And I'm sorry, but I have to be honest. I mean, again, as the competition goes, it was very fun to watch. But as a host city itself, I'm sorry, but I think Brazil should be banned from any future, hostings of the Olympics, because this was just downright terrible and despicable. And this shouldn't happen ever again.
Shorty, not only the competition as well, but also the people that have, become immortalized in Olympic history in their sport. Again, we've seen so many star athletes, either, Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps, Katie Ledecky. We've seen people make, pretty much, make themselves known to the world that they are here for a reason. Again, between Phelps and his gold medals, Ledecky and her swimming, Simone Biles and Team USA, in gymnastics, again, of course, Clarissa Shields and Michaela Meyer, of course, still duking it out for USA Boxing. Sadly, Michaela got knocked out of the next round for women's boxing, but of course, Clarissa Shields still there. Shorty, what about pretty much individual performances that you've seen so far? And again, all these, names that we didn't know about or heard of ever have become American or international sports folk heroes now for all of eternity with their performances in these games.
I just think, again, it was pretty interesting to see. And again, I said, in the previous show that not only, the U.S. dominating, of course, I always root for the U.S., but also other countries as well, getting gold medals. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Brazil got one of their first gold medals, and, in track, one of their, home stars there. I can't recall his name, but they definitely got a gold medal there. And, also Joseph Schooling, who definitely won gold against, Michael Phelps in one of the swimming competitions. It was great for him and a lot of the other, competitors from smaller countries who came up big, so it's also fun, like I said, to root for the underdogs. And there were a lot of underdogs who came up big in, this Rio competition.
And with that, guys, Shorty, ever since I've been back from vacation, I've missed talking about, everything in regards to the WNBA. I love covering, the game, of course, and, it's still fun at all covering the game on the global stage, Shorty, but I miss covering the local stuff, the 12 teams in the league that, of course, we're friends with all these people, but of course, folks, we get to do that all over again and talk WNBA hoops coming up on a special edition second half preview show. Folks, quickly though, one quick comment from Todd Mintz, who says, I would be afraid of getting Zika virus or horrible illness hanging around the water sports, or hanging around the water sports, or for that matter, the beach volleyball arena perhaps as well. I would agree with that aspect. And of course, Todd, I'm sure that you saw though, but we heard all the jeers towards USA goalkeeper Hope Solo with the Zika chant after she would punt the ball away downfield, of course, with her pretty controversial photo on Instagram of her wearing both a mosquito mask and also with the off repellent too, for her taste or displeasure or her thoughts about going to Brazil to play for the gold medal. But of course, she's going home empty-handed after their loss to Sweden. But with that, though, guys, we're Shorty. We're going to touch base on this, folks. We have confirmed 6 different guests already from our mass email sent out for our 2006 or for our second half WNBA season preview show for the second half of the season, folks. We've already been confirmed. We joined on that show by Caleb Courier, Mike Peden, Steve Rice, Chastity Melvin, Steven Anderson, and Pat Friday will be joining us on that program. So, Shorty, this is kind of like Draft Party Part 2. Like, this is like now, this is kind of like, Draft Party Part Hangover now, I'd probably say. It's going to be all the leftover pieces and body parts left over and leftover drinks that were left on the table from the draft party. Again, 6 of our very good friends joining us at this point in time, again, from our draft party. Again, Caleb Courier, our main guy, Mike Peden, of course, from fullcourt.com, Steve Rice, Women's Basketball Daily, our great friend Chastity Melvin, Steven Anderson from Project Spurs, and Pat Friday are right now, Shorty, confirmed to join us here on this special show. And of course, like I said, on Monday, we have, of course, folks, and we have reached out to LaChana Robinson, but LaChana has not gotten back to me yet with an email about her being on yet. But Shorty, so far so good, though. 6 people joining us for the second half preview show, Shorty. So again, this is, Draft Party Part 2, basically, Shorty, from our draft day special. But Shorty, again, 6 people again that we are, of course, very well, that we know well, of course, from our time on the network here. But I guess, Shorty, thoughts about the preview show for the second half of the season again, getting more good people on the network again once more.
Yes, this is definitely going to be big for the network. I remember, that draft party, even though I wasn't a part of it, but it was very big. Definitely, had a lot of views, and it's great to hear, minds from, the great people, in women's basketball, and that lineup there. If all could make it, for that show, definitely going to be huge. I would love to, hear their minds and their thoughts, on the upcoming second half of the season.
And again, folks, like I said, an email was put in to LaChina Robinson from my email address for this show, but she's not gotten back to me just yet. She's been on vacation for a bit, so hopefully, Shorty, if we do land LaChina Robinson, Shorty, it's probably going to be probably the hallmark guest for us on this network again. More so, I know we had players on. I know we had Derica Hamby and Ruth Hamlin, of course, now two of our great loyal friends on the network. But again, Shorty, if we can nab LaChina Robinson, or even a Lobo or a Ruko maybe during this part of the show, during any part of the show, Shorty, they will become a hallmark guest for us because, again, they are by far, that's the reason why they're on the biggest stage, of course, announcing these games on ESPN or NBA TV. So, Shorty, if we land LaChina Robinson, Shorty, how much would that probably mean, though, to the entire network broadcast team, again, that we got this, very, very knowledgeable and very, very, tremendous person in our women's basketball community on our program?
And oh my goodness, I think it would be huge. I would try to not freak out. No, I'm just playing. I wouldn't freak out, but I mean, just to hear, her name and her being a part of this network, it would be so huge for the network, and I would definitely, love if that would to happen.
So again, folks, to recap again, we will have a special edition again, WNBA 365 second half season preview show coming up on August 25th. Showtime, again, folks, is to be determined. It could be a very early West Coast start, again, to accommodate a lot of our people on the East Coast, of course. We don't want to keep them up at, 1 o'clock in the morning talking hoops. But, again, as now, folks, again, Caleb Courier, Mike Peden, Steve Rice, Chastity Melvin, Stephen Anderson, and Pat Friday, all right now confirmed to join us here, folks, via email responses. They will be a part of our panel, again, on August 25th. Showtime, again, TBD. But, again, we are still waiting, folks, for some more replies back from a few other sources that we are trying to get on the program. And of course, again, LaChina Robinson, of course, is also one of our people we want to get on our program coming up next Thursday. With that, Shorty, we'll call it a night here. Shorty, again, two-man show. Got through a lot of stuff tonight. Again, great conversation though, and also shout out to Tom into that great question again about what may happen, I guess, with Sacramento becoming another WNBA city, I guess, in a few years. Coming up sometime soon. But again, Shorty, how about overall final take and thoughts again about the semifinal matchups again for Rio 2016?
Semifinals, let's get it started.
Let's get it started in here, pretty much like that. Again, folks, thank you guys very much for joining us here. And by the way, Todd says about the preview show, he says, great guest. If you do get LaChina Robinson on, that would be large for the network in his mind. But again, folks, to recap that again, Caleb Courier, Mike Peden, Steve Rice, Chastity Melvin, Stephen Anderson, Pat Friday, all slated and confirmed to being a part of our network guest panel, again, for our second half WNBA season preview show coming up again on August 25th. Again, Showtime to be announced sometime soon. With that, folks, at this point in time, for Shorty Mamba 24, Tanisha Stewart up in Los Angeles, this is Cal McClurg from Studio 171 in San Diego, signing off, folks, until tomorrow night with more to recap the semifinal matches, folks. But until tomorrow night, have a safe night. Drive home safely. Thanks for stopping by and joining us, folks, and good night. We'll see you folks back here mañana. Take care, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.